By God's grace. Next. If we should not provoke my selection. Notification, don't provoke my selection. Mr. Abiodun Oshinibos should get ready. Mr. Adebayo Apolari should get FCA should get ready. Failure. Please, Adeyemi Ashekori should get ready. Next, Otumba should get ready. Should be on standby. All the California boss. Especially moving for pressure. The mighty one should get ready. Mr. Olumide Yada. Get ready. Do your standby, please. What are you doing? Are you doing stout? Disqualified. About the throwing of the road. Mr. Arize Azul, get ready. Be on standby. The diaspora, we have sent the link to the platform. You can now vote. Send the link to the platform, to J9C platform. You can now vote. And there's a window. For you to pay, if you not pay. But only qualified. Can we increase the money of people in the diaspora? Mr. Agbegare, carry first. We are tempted to disqualify you. We are tempted to disqualify you, but you are stand down. It's your turn. This electoral committee doesn't take nonsense. They misbehave. Can I use my pen? No. When you come with your pen, take our official pen. Mr. Oluwaseun torí àánú rẹ̀ kún rọ́rọ́rọ́ bí on standby. Be on standby. Are you taking beer? Yeah? It's illegal for you to be.
Shehu does not drink beer. He's a big man.
On alcohol before.
He has to be 40 or anything. My very
Mr. Wale Olagundoyin, former captain, be on standby. Diaspora members, please, your voting has started. It will only last for 10 minutes. And we have spent 5 minutes out of it. We are closing the voting process. You cannot be in infinity. I want to go to Mr. Kingsley James, KJV, be on standby. Be on standby.
Somebody recommend this shoe so that we see a brand new one for brand new ones.
These are all only the eligible voters.
The way is harassing you, your first call must be to suspend it from this collective. Alive.
Thank you.
Sorry, please. Where is Steve Ayori? Yeah?
Disqualified you.
Yes. You will come and take your blood.
Disqualified you.
You will be late for his dance.
Nobody is right.
For his death, sir, you will be late.
Only eligible voters. Okay. Thank you. We're expecting the votes from diaspora. We have 3 minutes to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to recognize our guests. We have the General Manager of Nairametrics, Mr. Chris Penn, here with us. A round of applause for him, please. The Strategy and Public Affairs Head at Nairametrics, Mr. Wani Ahibie, is also here with us. Thank you very much for coming. International Quantity Surveyor, former photographer with Inauguration International, Mr. Onsebayo Michael, is here with us. I also want to acknowledge the contribution of Mr. Peninis to today's event. I'm told he gave us the use of this place free of charge. Can we give him a round of applause? I insist this our new government shall not take things free of charge. So I insist that we're going to pay you. Mr. Shekiri will arrange how we will pay you. We'll bring in some new members that will pay you in charity. Please. No problem. We also have some people online at home. Personally, people are able. Can you do us the honor of us seeing your faces, please? Today is Sunday, so you don't work on Sundays. Personally, able, let's see your face. Mike, no. Let's see your face. That's Abiodo's face. He used to look, he used to look rougher than this, but you know, he was really look, that's Ibikule Adebuku. He used to be a future musician, but now he's successful abroad here. What's done like? Let's see your faces, please. Mike, you don't need to show your face. You're not abroad. You are in Akwa Ibom. Okay, so Jimmy, can we see your face? Jimmy is playing music somewhere in the abroad. Okay, Chairman, are you ready for us? The next item after this will be the announcement of election results. That will be done at 3:30 p.m. while all your obedience are sleeping. We don't want any noise. Then we'll take a little break and commence the inauguration lecture. Thank you. Thank you. People in the diaspora, we're waiting for you. We have some people left to vote, and the vote will end in 120 seconds. It starts now. It's started like the campus. 120 seconds. Vote. Please check the link. The link is on the platform. It ends now. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, with the kind position of a forward-looking, decentralized, fair, open-minded, principled policy carrier that we have as our chairman of the election Oh, that was years ago. Before he made money. Now, money has come. It doesn't have anything to do with dead people again. He and his able deputy that I cannot afford to abuse because of slap will I can't say that into the microphone. I cannot. I've gracefully agreed that we proceed with our lecture, with our inaugural lecture. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the microphone our guest speaker, a man of great humane cordiality, a respected national icon and treasure, and a man that could have been anywhere this evening, but decided to be with us. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, please let's put them together for our guest lecturer, Mr. Ochukwu. Please do not stop clapping. Let's do the J9C welcome. The J9C welcome for you. That's not loud enough. That's not loud enough. Jimmy Jack, I see you. Thank you, Jimmy.
World famous. Jimmy Jack. World famous. Technical money. Point your goals. Can we share the screen?
Good evening, gentlemen. I'd like to start by introducing myself. My name is J9C. I'm the founder of Nairametrics. Okay,
You don't want to come in. Sorry, our guest speaker will be talking about agenda setting in this current dispensation, which is very, very important. I crave your indulgence to please bring out a piece of paper and a biro and take notes, especially those who are about to vote into office. Thank you very much. Gentlemen.
all right, thank you, sir. All right, so my name is J9C. I'm the founder of Nairametrics. So, in case you're just hearing Nairametrics for the first time, it's a financial and business news and content focused website. So, think of it as a small Bloomberg or Financial Times. But we think in the next few years we'll probably be at the same level with Financial Times. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm not a lecturer, so I'm going to move around everything. It's just that people like us cover the Nigerian economy on a regular basis, so we have some insights that we can share. I know in Nigeria everybody's a professor when it comes to national issues. The same way we all argue football or we've never coached anything before. So, but for some of us, we rely on data and historical events to try and predict or explain what is happening in the economy. And I'm sure as we all know, we stand in a very precarious period in this country. I'll also start to recognize members of the J9 collective. When my very good friend, Kingsley, called me during the week. Sundays are usually my rest days because I can be very busy, but there was no way I could say no to him, someone that I respect a lot. So I couldn't say no. Right, so a pleasure and honor to be amongst your midst, and of course, those that are also online. Permit me to just speak some economic grammar. I hope that I won't be too far off. All right, and of course, to my partners who are also here, I would like to move around with them sometimes, just in case the questions are too hard. All right, so I'll just speak through. I have a presentation that I made, and the title here is Nigeria's macroeconomic scorecard, and challenges and opportunities. So, in a nutshell, I'll just take you through, because I'm sure a lot of you know what we're going through in Nigeria as a country economically. So I'll try to make sense of it and then maybe point us to where I think there are opportunities. Because even in Sudan and Somalia, people are doing business there. I mean, even in Iraq, Afghanistan, we're all doing business there. So, and of course, Nigeria is a country where there are opportunities. Last week or so, I was in a meeting 2 weeks ago with some folks from JP Morgan. And I was wondering, and they were here. They came for the Dangote refinery opening up. We're very curious about, where they could invest in, because their own investors who they represent, we're telling them to go into Nigeria. There's a new government probably. We want to know what's happening. We don't want to miss out on the opportunities. So not for those of us that are here, that are hustling it. So next slide, please. So unfortunately, the screen is not too good, but so we'll just manage. I'm sure those online can probably see them. So what we've done here is just to depict what I like to call the 3 main things that Nigeria is facing today. And for anyone who's wondering why the business is struggling, or why it's finding it difficult to pay school fees, or why your relative in your house or your village is always calling you for money, or your cousin or your niece or nephew, it's these 3 things here. This bucket here is higher inflation. We're facing high inflation, we're facing a fiscal crisis, and then the economy is not growing very fast. So why are we facing high inflation? Commodity prices are high, there's currency depreciation. I'm sure you all know exchange rate is 7.80 in the black market, even though that's strengthened against the week. Money supply is at an all-time high. I'll explain money supply in a bit. Because when I tell people that the money supply in Nigeria today, we've never seen it on record. People are wondering where the money is. Let me see the money. But we are on record high when it comes to money supply. And then, of course, insecurity and logistics. Then, from the fiscal side, which is government, Nigerian government is, in a nutshell, broke. The government that we are inheriting, that Tinubu is inheriting, is a broke government. So that's a huge problem. And then, of course, last but not the least, the economy is not growing fast enough. So these are the 3 major things worrying Nigeria. Anything else anybody tells you, from an economic point of view, these are the problems. And that also has an impact on politics. And of course, the economy, the social economy in general, that's you're right. Next slide, please. Next slide. So let me speak a bit to inflation. So unfortunately, you can't see this well, but those online can see it. So if you see the blue chart, the blue line there, is what we call the NPR, monetary policy rates. The orange line is the inflation rate, and then that's actually a green line, is what we call money supply. What do they mean? So those of us who track the economy, we don't miss these 3 indicators. One usually gives you an idea of where the other would be. So money supply is money that the government or the private sector pumps into the economy. So if you look at this chart, from around here, this you can see it started going up from here. That was 2020 during COVID. If you notice, we were all at home. So what the world leaders did, not just Nigeria alone, all the countries around the world, was that they thought that we were going to go into a recession, which we did. And so they started pumping money. In fact, in the US, if you have relatives in the US or that families in the US, I'm sure they will tell you that they were giving them what we call helicopter money. They are just mailing money to their houses. Because government usually do that when they are trying to jumpstart an economy. Because nobody is spending. So when nobody is spending, somebody has to spend. And I'm sure those who remember Adam Smith and the visible hand, typically it's government. Government now comes and tries to spend money. And so Nigeria also did the same. And at that time, Mefele, CBN governor, pumped several money. There was also some intervention funds. Intervention funds for agriculture, intervention funds for manufacturing, intervention funds for power. Even in the entertainment industry, there are all sorts of intervention funds. And to make it worse, well, not to make it worse, in addition, the interest rates that they were charging for them was 5%. Just imagine, it was 5%. It was called forbearance. And then they were told, don't pay principal, just come and collect. It's a good thing. But it has a downside. When you pump in so much money, it doesn't lead to economic growth. It tends to lead to inflation. Because the people you give the money to, you're hoping that they will put it in productive sectors. And if they don't put it in the productive sectors, and maybe they go and buy G-Wagon, and marry a new wife, or send all their children abroad. And if their children are abroad, they have to buy dollars and send to them. So we basically heat up the economy. While the CBN was also pumping a lot of money into the economy, the government was also doing what? Borrowing too. So the government was borrowing because oil price was depressed. So there's no money. Politicians must spend money now. They must pay salaries. They must do their extra codes, and they must do what politicians know how to do best. So that also went into the economy. And so what happens in economic theory is proven. When there's so much money in the country and it's not going to, the keyword is productive sectors, it leads to inflation. Because think about it. If there's so much money around and you're not using it, you're not investing in the business, you drink more alcohol, you spend more on clothes, you buy more cars, you're just consuming, it's just consumption. And anytime, any price they give you, you go pay. Because the money is there. And so that led to inflation. And because it has led to inflation, the central bank had no choice but to increase its own interest rates. So today, and I'm sure most of us here are businessmen, any bank you go to today to get a loan, except maybe the MD is your brother, or maybe you roll out somewhere, you must be paying 23 to 25% interest rates. Yeah. That's it. So the central bank is saying, you know what, Nigerians, no more loans, don't collect loan anymore. There's too much money in circulation. Don't collect loan. That has implications for your businesses because you can't borrow again. Just because inflation is so high, there's so much money, and the government doesn't want it. In fact, this is also one of the reasons why the CBN did that Naira swap policy. A lot of people, apart from the political connotations, because there are political connotations as well. It was also because there was too much. If you go to parties, they are selling money, people are spraying money and all that. And the money was actually concentrated in the hands of just few people. It was enough to heat up inflation. And so that's why that chart you can see is going all the way up. So this blue line, which is the monetary policy rate, is 18.5% currently. It has to still go up so that the other lines can come down. So what it means is that expect interest rate of borrowing to hit 10%. So right now, if you have cash, you're better off putting that money in fixed deposits because you get more from it than actually investing it in productive courses. Because when there is high inflation and purchasing power is low, people don't buy. So the question is, what are you investing for? So you have to, those are the sort of trade-offs you have to do. You have to ask yourself, is this the best time for you to invest in your business, or is it time for you to maybe slow down, hold cash? I think cash is king currently. I feel right now cash is king, and it's not just anyhow cash, it's dollars, not naira. Because that naira is just going to keep, depreciating in terms of its purchasing power. Next slide. So this is also another interesting chart, and this is exchange rates. I'm sure everybody is familiar with this. The blue line there is official rate. You can see it's flat, no move. While the top one is the parallel market rate. President Tinubu in his announcement on Monday said he wanted to unify the exchange rate. A lot of people are asking questions around what does it mean. Unifying the exchange rate does not mean that Naira will be strong. Important for everybody to know that. It does not mean that Naira will be worse off. All I'm saying is that today, if you go and ask for PTA, you want to tell your bank to give you PTA, they have their own rates. If you import things into Nigeria, you want to pay custom, they have their own rates. If you export things outside Nigeria, you want to bring your dollar in, there's another rate. If you're a friend of people in CBN and you want dollars, they can give you their own rate. Politicians also have their own rates. So, different people have their own rates. But what is very important is, for an economy, it doesn't work when there are just so many rates. It causes a lot of dislocation. It's arbitrage. Because once they sell it, you can take exchange rate at 450, you go and sell at 750. It's not you to invest in business. And so Tinubu is saying, you know what, damn that, I don't want different rates anymore. I want a unified rate. Now, there's a difference between having a unified rate and not having a rate that is unified with the black market. That's a different ballgame. In fact, personally, I don't think it's possible to constantly have a black market rate and an official rate that is the same. There will always be changes, and it's normal. I'm sure for some of you who maybe are, who go to the UK and maybe exchange money at airports, you can go to Travelex here. The price might be different from the other one there, and even when you enter town, different prices. So, and then if you go to the black market, maybe you're into, black business, the price will also change for, it's different. So the rates, but what is important is people just want what is reflective of a realistic price. And you can only determine it if you allow the market to determine. If I have dollars, if I tell you it's 900, if you want to pay, that's the price now. If you don't want to pay, then I have to do what? Adjust my price. And so we're hoping that when they unify, maybe that's what the Tinubu application will do. But in the meanwhile, that's why we're where we are. That's why we have that huge disparity. Because the rate in the black market, people don't believe the rate in the official market, people don't believe that is the real rate. Right, next slide. Next slide, please. So while we're waiting for that slide, the implication of this is if you have any dollar expenses, it's very important that you make a habit of buying dollars every week, no matter the price. Any dollar expenses, obligations, and a lot of people have, most of us here probably have families abroad and you're working here. You're constantly in a negative position because the money you're making here in Naira, you need to convert it to dollar and send to your family to maybe pay rent or something. So what I'm trying to tell people, as much as I don't like dollarization, you have to constantly make sure that you're buying dollars on a weekly basis. And then try as much as possible to diversify your earnings. It actually makes more sense to earn dollars than to earn Naira. So are there businesses that you can do outside of Nigeria that can earn $2. I think there are. You probably just need to be, a bit more observant and check that. But that's what Nigeria is seeing, and that's what everybody here needs to understand. Nigeria, based on what I've seen here, is essentially telling you that they don't want you to be in the business of earning naira. Yes. So they want you to be in the business of earning dollars. That is why today, where do most Nigerian artists play? Where? Where is, trust me, very soon, most Nollywood actors are going to ask for dollars. Because the likes of Netflix and Amazon are going to pay them dollars. That's where it's going. That's how actually emerging economies should function. You should go out to look for dollars. One second. I understand the slide has an issue, so. All right, so the next challenge that we face as a country is the government. And this one is the government, yes. This particular government, what was actually surprising to me on social media was how people were, when the obedience and the articulated and the unicorns, they're always fighting on social media and all and quarreling. What I was really surprised was, the person that is coming to take over this country is coming to take over in one mess. I actually think that person, they might actually hit him more than Buhari. Because to fix Nigeria, people will go through so much pain that you will be so hated, and then the next person who's coming will be an angel. Because the economy is in a bad state. This particular year, the government says that it will spend 20 plus trillion. Can move to the next slide, or just for example, for their 2023 budget. But guess how much the government said it's going to make? 11 trillion. So there's a deficit of 10 trillion. Just think about it. Just imagine that in your business, you tell your staff that this year we will spend 1 billion, but we are only expecting to make 400 million. Your accountant presents that to you. Won't you fire him on the spot? Because what he's telling you is that you have to borrow. But that's the reality. So, how does that affect you and I? Because that's really what's more important. If the government says they want to run a 10 trillion deficit, what it means is that the government is going to borrow to fund that deficit. And if they borrow to fund that deficit, your naira is going to lose its purchasing value. And so for those that are thinking that the exchange rate will be strong, you're wasting your time. I don't see how that happening. Because the indices don't point to it. I'm very happy if it does, but I doubt it. So I won't be surprised this time next year, we're seeing 800. Because you're already in a 10 trillion deficit. You have to borrow money to pay for it. If you're borrowing money to pay for it, what does that mean? That's one. The second implication is that if you're in this room and you don't pay taxes, you will so pay taxes because the Tinubu administration will come after you to pay taxes. And you all know Nigeria, that if you already pay taxes, it's you will start from. You know, in this country, if you go to tax office and say, I want to pay taxes, I want to be a good citizen, you go there, you put in your file, you look at your number, you pay taxes, they will shake you. Well done. The next day, they will send auditors to your office. It's you they will start from. They will send auditors to your office and they will start to assess you. That's what they do. I don't think there's anybody in tax here, but you all know now, that's what you guys do. So, and you don't blame them. Government needs taxes to run. They budgeted 2 point something trillion for taxes this year. It's not even enough. Remember what I said? They are running a 10 trillion deficit. So for your businesses, they are not going to increase taxes, but they are going to collect every single bit of tax that they can collect from you. They will collect it. I'm hearing now that, not that I'm hearing, it's happening already. If you apply for PTA, that's it's happening now. Yes, if you don't have taxpayer certificate, they are not going to give you this thing. So it's either you pay, and even your homes, you must pay land use charge, all of that. And that's going to keep happening. So businesses as well, don't be surprised that they tell you to pay TV tax. You know, so all sorts, radio tax,
Sex tax. But that's actually the highest tax that you don't pay. How do you know?
sex tax. All right, so in terms of public debt, Nigeria's debt today, which is a huge problem, is about 73 trillion. Yes. When Buhari came, I don't think we were owing up to 30 trillion in the country. But today we are owing about 7-something trillion naira, which is about 160 or so. Yeah, $162 billion. That's what this country is owing. Now, inside that money is CBN money. CBN, they are owing CBN 26 or so trillion. Through ways and means. Sometime, I don't cancel. Sometime last week, the National Assembly, or Saturday, last week Saturday, not this one, upper Saturday, they quickly had a session. They don't usually meet on Saturday, but they quickly met on Saturday. And they passed the bill to increase ways and means from 5% to 6%. So the reason why they did it wasn't because they were crazy. As much as a lot of women wanted, but it just pointed to a reality. There was no money for the Tinubu administration to spend or to use to run government. So imagine that I can just come into a government and there's no money. You can't pay salaries. You can't. Come on. So the only way they had to do it was ways and means, because they had already collected. The Buhari had already collected 4 trillion between January and May. They had collected 4 trillion already. So the Tinubu administration was going to ask for another 1.2 trillion. I don't know whether they paid it yet, but I think the National Assembly passed it, waiting for the president's absence. And so again, if your debt is that your public debt is this high, what does it mean for your investors? What does it mean for that? I remember Nigeria is import dependent. If it was like we were export oriented, it's not a problem. America is the most indebted country in the world. In fact, they just increased their debt ceiling recently. Okay? Yes, last week. The bill was just signed a few days ago. Now, the last slide I wanted to share, could you go down a bit? Could you keep going? Yeah. I just want to share with you, keep going, the economy that the current president is inheriting. Yeah, keep going. Unfortunately, this is not clear at all. It's not clear. Yeah, go on.
Buhari.
Yes, this one. So this is the economy that Tinubu is inheriting. In terms of economic growth, we grew at maybe 1% or so over the last 8 years, on average, 1.3%. Inflation rates over the last 8 years, more than double, 200%. So he's meeting an economy that is high inflation rate. When Buhari came in, Nigeria's deficit was 800 something billion. Tinubu is coming now, he's meeting a deficit of 10 trillion. External reserves are $35 billion. Unemployment rate is at 56%. That is the economy that Tinubu is inheriting. So, if I ask you guys, do you think that in the next 2 years, there's going to be a massive change that's positive for the economy? Do you think maybe things are going to improve in the next 2 years with all of this? It's very difficult. So there's going to be a lot of pain before things get better. But nevertheless, there are opportunities. So let me just speak to the opportunities. Like I mentioned, in a high interest rate environment, there is a disincentive to borrow, but there's an incentive to save. So anybody that's going to ask for fixed deposit, use knife and cutlass and slice them. Charge the highest you can. Because there's no money out there. So they're going to need to pay you high interest rates for your cash. So I've been getting calls from microfinance banks now asking for offering 17%, 18% per annum. So think about it, you have 100 million, give them, they pay you 17 million, 18 million. That's almost like not even money to work at all. Because that's the environment that we're in. Sorry? Yes, you are paying it. 17. Yes. 18%. Just to save money. Banks are offering 12, 13%, 14. So if you have 1 billion, that's 170 million without doing anything. So ask yourself, do you want that or do you want to go and invest in a risky business? It's all up to you. In terms of focus areas, the focus areas for this government, if you're looking for where this government is going to, agriculture, that's one. They want to continue with some of Buhari's policies, so that's a focus area. Manufacturing is a focus area because Nigeria needs manufacturing jobs and Nigeria needs economic growth. So pay attention to their policies around manufacturing. Manufacturing is a very huge space, but we need to pay attention to know where exactly they want us to play in. Oil and gas. Nigeria still needs oil and gas. I think downstream, this is going to be an era, a boom for downstream players, especially with the introduction of Dangote refinery. There's going to be a lot of businesses around downstream, whether it's petrochemicals or whether it's fuel or diesel, whole lots. Fertilizers, mining as well. It's going to be huge opportunities there. Technology as well, huge area for investment. Real estate, I think is also going to be huge. The reason why the government wants to push mass housing. Mass housing is something that President Tinubu likes a lot. So I expect to see a lot of contracts, a lot of business around mass housing. And what I like about mass housing is that real estate is not just about the building. There are so many businesses that come out, whether it's people that are doing tiles, whether it's painters, whether it's people that are doing rods, iron rods, just a whole lot. So it's very good to position yourself very well in that area. We think that there's opportunity in the fabricated business. Fabricated business are the people who just use iron to do all sorts of things. It's a very interesting market, especially for people like nylon manufacturers, plastic manufacturers. They use a lot of fabricated equipment. And that's because people can't import these things anymore. They are very expensive. So people are doing them locally within Nigeria. So that's another area that I think will boom in the next few years. There's increased demand for online purchases. I was with someone yesterday who told me, there was someone a few weeks ago, and she told me that she tried something. She was building a house, and she said she wanted to furnish her house by buying every single thing on Instagram. Yes. From her furniture, to her decoration, to her paintings, to her carpet, every single thing in that house, she bought online. So what does that mean? The way your children pay for things is not the way you pay for things. So when your building your business or you're trying to build distribution of your business, if you don't think online, you're going to lose out. Because your competition is thinking online. So when you think online, it means that you need to now start to pay attention to who your customers are. So, do you know your customers? Do you know their names? Do you know their date of birth? Do you know where they live? Do you know how many times they buy things from you? Do you know who your returning customers are? Do you know those customers that buy in quantity, large quantities? Do you know the customers that buy periodically, maybe, in the rainy season, during the dry? You have to spend a lot of time understanding customers, because that's what online brings. Who are those customers that anything you post on IG, they always like or don't like? Who are the ones that don't like or buy? Who are the ones that always come to your comment section? You have to know all those things. Very, very important in the economy that we're going into. We think that transportation is going to be huge. Sorry, I missed that. That's also one area that this government is going into. Transportation and power. Yeah, and power. So transportation is also going to be huge, especially integrated logistics. That's one area that is a very difficult area to get into, but I think that it's going to be huge. I have a friend who came in from the UK 2 days ago, and he was trying to move. He brought in, he had some luggage. I wanted to move them to the east. Came for his mother's burial. And he went to one of these very popular ones. I don't know what the name is, but the one that the name starts with G. So he was moving the thing to the east. And it's just a simple transfer my goods from Lagos to Onitsha. And then somebody called me from Bayelsa and said, "We're in Bayelsa, what's your address?" And then the thing went on and on. Eventually, he had to send someone to Asaba to go and pick the goods. What it means is that it's very difficult to actually move products from Lagos to Abuja, or from Lagos to Port Harcourt, or from Lagos to Osun. It can never happen. The US is bigger than Nigeria. You can move goods from California to New York within 48 hours, within 72 hours. In fact, it appears that it's even better, it's even easier, faster to move goods from US to Nigeria than from Lagos to Baro. So what that means is that integrated logistics is an area that I think Nigeria needs to grow. It's difficult now because the government is not paying attention. So that is why people who are in that business today struggle. They struggle with a lot of things. The roads are bad. They also need policemen on the road who stop them. They have employees that they can't train very well, so employees don't understand discipline. But once government moves into that area, there's going to be a lot of discipline. And then when there's a lot of discipline, that market will open. Today, if you go to the US, there's no way you will be driving on the freeway in the US, you will not see an Amazon truck. I don't know how you say. You must see a huge Amazon truck. You will see FedEx. You will see trains moving with goods. Because we are human beings, and human beings love to consume products. So you can't have a Nigeria that wants to be the giant of Africa, the real giant of Africa, not have a solid integrated logistics business. So that's going to happen. Insecurity, I think, is still a problem. So people in that business will continue to make money like they are making money today. They will continue to make money from insecurity. No hard feelings, that's how it is. Whether it's drone technology, I met a lady who is into drone technology. When I sat down with her for 1 hour, that's when I realized the business did this world. She is on the cusp of making something huge from drones. You guys don't understand the business of drone technology. Oh, you know, drone technology. That business is too sweet. All they are doing now is just trying to set up the regulatory requirement and the right laws. Once they sort that out, it's going to be big. Because you see this, you see the way we are adjusting for land. I'm trying to, we've not started with sky. Sky is a different thing entirely. So that's one area as well. Of course, we have a youth population, so our youth population continues to make Nigeria attractive to foreign investors. Low price goods market. So I think that businesses that sell, there are two types of businesses that I think will make a lot of money in Nigeria. Let me use that as an example. I think if you do, what's the difference between this and this in terms of name? In terms of products, I'm sure some of you are into writing down. What's the difference? Name first. Okay, name. Well, what's the difference? No, not size. Name. So let me switch it. Which one will you call premium? Which one will you call value? This premium, right? This value, right?
So size does not matter.
So, businesses that offer premium services that are solid, that have name recognition. No matter release your price, increase it, people will still buy it. That's the message. So don't devalue yourself. Because people, in fact, the more expensive you are, the more they want you in this sort of economy. Now, those that are in value business, value brands are going to compete against each other more than ever because it's a race to the bottom. Why? People don't have money. There's inflation, purchasing power. So your biscuit is 5 naira. This one is 4 naira. I'll buy 4 naira. Maybe the same biscuit. There's no difference in the taste. It's a race to the bottom. But if you sell a value brand that has strong distribution, it's everywhere, you will eat everybody up. So that's why these days you see even those in premium, they are doing sachet, they are doing everything that is in sachet and all that, because what they are trying to do, apart from the fact that people like to just buy small, because at the end of the day, the man who wants to drink tea does not want the full milk, he just wants small to put so that he think I don't have some kind of taste, So he's not really worried about the brand. But you also need to be able to move your products faster. So the smaller your products, the faster you can go. I am actually very sure that very soon, people that make water like this, they'll go bankrupt because people don't really see plenty water. Just see, we are not finishing it. You don't have. That's true now. I can't remember the last time I don't finish everything. I'm doing food. Even abroad, you don't see water. It's in Nigeria, you come, you see water, you don't make it like or Pepsi. Nobody drinks like that. So very soon, you're going to see pet water. Because people will not have you won't have a choice but to be more prudent in your production. There's no time for waste. Images like this might just be like the smaller one that's better. Just use it as an example. Because you realize that you have to just put things in budget so that you can at least sell. So there was something the CBN introduced last year. I don't know if it's something that the Tinubu administration will support, but I think they will. It's called PAPSS. Pay attention to it. PAPSS is basically a policy that allows exporters within Africa export goods to neighboring countries without worrying about forex. It's as if you're just selling it in naira. So what would then happen is that the central banks of those countries hold their currencies, and so they'll just exchange amongst each other. No dollar involved. So PAPSS, PAPS, yes. So it's basically a policy that allows central banks across countries keep their own currencies. What it means for business is that if you're in an export business, you don't need to worry about the currency. You export the thing to somebody in Kenya or in Namibia, the money is just hitting you almost immediately in naira at the cost that you would have sold it locally without any exchange risk, because somebody else has taken all that off for you. There's already an agreement for that. They're just in implementation stages. But what it also means is that, wait a minute, if they are going to be doing this, there has to be banks that will position themselves to facilitate these things. So are you not surprised that Access Bank is everywhere? Because Access Bank is going pan-African. Today, if you have an Access Bank account here in Nigeria, you can transfer money to someone who has an Access Bank account in Rwanda without worrying about the exchange rate issues. They just get the money easily fast. UBA does the same thing. First Bank does the same thing. Zenith Bank is also looking at going in there, but that's why Zenith Bank is moving towards no go. Because they realize that, just like I told you earlier, you can't rely on the money you make in Nigeria. You have to make money outside the country. First Bank, about 17 to 20% of its revenue this year was from offshore. Same thing with UBA. UBA makes most of its money offshore as well. So offshore is now an area of opportunity for contracts. So PAPS will help aid a lot of this. So pay attention to PAPS. It hasn't been implemented yet, but it's likely to happen. Subsidy removal is a problem. I'm sure we all know. Yes, it's going to be. It's the best decision. I'm fully in support of it because, like I said, the government has no money to pay for subsidies, so there's no point. But it has huge repercussions and opportunities. So what are the repercussions? First of all, as businessmen, I'm sure most of us here are business owners. Your employees are going to ask for higher salaries. I hope you're ready for that in the next 1 month, or else they'll resign and go. And these days, employees are the ones that have power. They will ask for transport allowance. You have to start to think of work from home. You have to adjust because at some point you wonder, is not everybody that will come to work again? My admin head called me today and said, okay, we have to review our Uber policy because how my staff move around is Uber. So we have this Uber for business app that they used to move around. But now it's now more expensive because they're going to move from point A to point B. What used to cost us 3,000 is now 15,000 on Bolt and Uber. So now we're saying, okay, this is where you go. You don't do the meeting online. So people would have to rethink their expenditure. You just can't wake up and go to anywhere you want to. Somebody made a joke and said that at least now, married men will stay in their house because any woman you saw them now will ask for you.
No, you have girlfriends close to your house.
Or you do virtual. So, but there are opportunities, like I mentioned.
Please, opportunity.
Higher subsidy means that I think a lot of people, you might think it's taking us back to the old days, but it's not true. That's what's happening now. There's going to be a default back to riding bicycles. That's going to be a huge market. Apart from regular bicycles, electric bicycles are going to be in within the next 2 years. Because people will see it. You know, the funny thing about these things is that once people think it's cool, they adopt it fast. It just makes it look cool. Even if we build roads now, we start to accommodate things like that. Because if you want to go from here to maybe Ikeda City Mall, instead of dropping into your car, you just ride a bike. It can be an electric bike. And if you go abroad, you see it there now. You see a lot of bikes parked where that you can actually borrow, go and come back. It's going to happen here. There's going to be opportunities for EVs, and there are people doing that already. You can actually import a small EV car with all in 7-8 million. So if you are thinking of buying a fleet of cars for your business, why are you going to buy a gasoline car for? You don't have to buy EV. You buy an EV, you set up a charging point in your office, powered by solar, and you keep it there. That EV will run the whole day. That's an opportunity that is waiting as well for a lot of people. The first something to move on. Then people are also going to move into renewables. That's even where the money is going to power. I was in a session 2 weeks ago, and on the panel were people that fund renewable projects. You know what's interesting? You saw these solar businesses, they don't make profit. They are all loss making. 99% of them are loss making. But you know what? Foreign governments don't care. Foreign donors don't care. That's where all the money is going to. $1 million, $2 million, $1.5 million, they don't care. So if you are here and you're looking for more, which new business I want to ask, just go and be a solar developer, go and be a developer, but focus on renewables. Just pure renewables. Companies now, manufacturing companies, guess what they are also doing? They also don't want to use diesel anymore because they also have to meet what you call ESG, environmental, social, and governance requirements. And if you don't meet ESG requirements, you actually can't do business with some foreign countries or companies because they will ask you. There's also carbon credits. So for these reasons, you have to avoid or reduce your diesel consumption. So when they are reducing diesel, they are moving to renewables. So companies that just come and take over, fix all my solar panels, inverter batteries and all that. They are first movers already, people are doing it, but the market is too big. There's nobody doing retail at the moment. I've seen a few retail products where they can just package one small inverter with panels, and then they tell you you're paying $40,000 a month. Very good for retail shops. Those things are going to take over. But very simple, people will be able to buy petrol and put in generator. It's just too expensive. It's too expensive because now a 5 liter generator, 5 liter fuel. I mean, is that much now? And I know those I better pass my neighbor. Those fuel doesn't last more than 12 hours. After 12 hours, it's finished. And by the way, I think 95 will also change. A lot of businesses will start to adopt 94. I don't know why we do 95 in the first place. 94, 93. All right, so finally, that's still longer than expected. Industries to watch out for me, transport. Transport, security, telecoms, data, AI, you're all in one, data, AI, metaverse, cloud computing, vocational and education, top leadership, things like this. People are going to need more of it because people want to understand things better. Academic schools, in fact, I'm sure you know, academy for MCs who want to be like you, they want to go to training. So a lot of them don't know. So the academies to set up academies for all sorts of things. Trust me. Even how to dress. Or someone who said McKinsey and all these consulting companies, I hope you know that they have schools for how to dress, how to talk. Yes. Oh, there will be more of it. Fintech, still an industry to watch out for. Agriculture, infrastructure. Now, there's a slide I have here, just that it's not very clear. What I've noticed is that construction used to be like, it was outside the top 10 largest sectors in Nigeria. It's now in the top 10. And the reason why construction is the top 10 is simple. Nigeria lacks infrastructure. And government will need to spend more on infrastructure. I mentioned, we still need to do good roads, we still need to do hospitals, we still need to do hotels, we need our waterways to work, we need rails. So construction business is just starting. We noticed that local tile manufacturers in Nigeria now are now doing better than foreign tiles. People these days are preparing to buy local tiles. Yes. And they are doing this, all of them, they are doing it here in Nigeria. And then, I mentioned renewables already. There's entertainment, there's trade, there's FMCG, and finally, real estate. Ladies and gentlemen, that is
I hope you noticed that that's what everybody is standing on. Thank you very much for this. God bless you. God bless you. We'll let you sit down. You've been on your feet for too long, and all your questions will be taken with you sitting down there. A round of applause for you. A round of applause for you. You know, I believe that those who win today see this as another challenge, because I don't know if I can say this because outsiders are here. We should not be Uruki Social Club and do things like this that will push us. I've learned so much today that if I do 3 of the things he has said, I won't have problems till the end of the year. I also want to appeal to our guest speaker to please, no, to our inviter or our guest speaker to please get a soft copy of the presentation to us. It's very important. He said something, and I was telling Wale that this man is totally right. I was with our new president when Okojo-Iweala and Baba Obasanjo paid that debt, and the man was furious. He said this is voodoo economy, that no country in the world pays debt, that this money we pay can be put into infrastructure. You employ laborers, they are making money, people selling food on sites are making money, and I think we should give it a louder round of applause. So, J9, we will take a few questions. Few being the operational word. One person, one question. As I said, just like one man, one wife. But I know that a lot of you have one wives, one wives, and 20 concubines. So, Honorable. Well, thank you very much. Guest speaker, very strict question to you, sir. Sir, hello, sir. Yeah. Just there. Let me use this word. I'm in the public sector, so let me use this word for you. And you in the private sector tell us that government does not have any business in doing business. Okay, tell me. But from what I just told us here now, government is stimulator of any sensible economy. So except government puts that money down, which will serve as a catalyst as like a social contract that they have to help the people to build the foundation that they have built. Now, that's what they're asking. Now, this one, you have told us the noise about subsidy is about we need money for infrastructure, for other things. But the fiscal is I want to ask you. You have told us that just like the elementary economics, that the market dictates the prices. What we have been listening to is doomsday. Wait, doctor. It's doomsday economy. People saying that it has seen this subsidy is not the end of the world for Nigeria or for Nigerians. And you're telling us that if market forces are putting the price of fuel down, all of these variables that are put down, are they still going to be at the same equilibrium like they are put down? I think it must be on the same page with our postulation going forward. Because you know, just like what I've seen in telecom, what you are seeing in what's probably going to come with electricity. I say that if we get our acts right and we get this subsidy and this fuel regime right, and the market dictates the price. So yes, I say that all of these variables that are highlighted for us is still going to be the same. Or it's not because of the monolithic economy that we are. It's going to change the time bit. And then finally, we are not, no, this was just coming. We are not talking to the real people. It's easier to talk to people here. It's easier to talk to the politicians. But what are we doing about call people that are carrying out these activities in civil service? We have to think deep about it and see how we can get more people going there. Thank you very much.
No, wait, let me apply. Are you okay?
Are you the MC? Do you want me to get angry? If you say that, you say that there's money in entertainment. Okay, we'll take 3. Please note. We'll take 3, then we'll get back to you. Honorable, you spoke about getting to civil service. You politicians, what do you mean you cannot pay me? Mr. Shola, what do you mean?
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, sir.
5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Let's go.
I don't know if you would like this question on camera or off camera. It's a simple question. What would you recommend for a referee? Should he go to jail or should he
should be killed?
Simple question. For his actions between November and December.
He should be killed.
The past 6.5 years.
Well, the only thing I say about Emefiele, they say after the ONKR. Well, the last one from Senator.
Hi, I listen to you on radio most times. I think it's a classic event. Yeah? It's classic. I used to listen, but then at some point I stopped leaving the house very early. But the Lekki traffic can teach you some lessons. So the question I need to ask is that in all of this, I think you have painted a very gory picture for SME. You have painted a very bad picture for the SME. Like, if there's no need doing business in Nigeria, just go and keep your money in one place, or japa, or find dollars by all means. And that's a worry for some of us who we believe in Nigeria, whether it works or not. We have told ourselves we are not going anywhere anyway. Don't you understand? More so, we think we have the most fun in Nigeria than all these places. So we would rather stay here, even if it's just for the fun of it. Because it's not easy to carry something outside here. But here, it's fair. So for whatever reason, my question really is it really a bad situation for SMEs? I mean, just tell us what you really think. Should we be hiding our monies where under our pillows, or we should invest and bring some value into the economy? Thank you.
Thank you. Fortunately for us, the last question, Council, this question I think you had asked. So we'll take it from you. But please don't forget to mention the station. I still leave home early.
All right, thank you very much. So we have the program on classical payment is 8 to 8:30. It's called Business Alpha, where we introduce founders, SME owners, and just give an opportunity to speak to the larger market. That can be hosted by a partner already. And we have one on Wednesday every month.
Exactly.
So let me try and respond. So everyone now is 8 to 8:30 class on Mondays, and on Wednesday, Lagos Talks 7:30 to 8:30.
Questions or advice? Can you tell them to record and repeat?
Yes.
Later
Yes. Okay, we'll do that. We do have that. We do that. So should government keep spending to make the economy better? That's the first statement she said. So I don't think we want government to spend money because they don't have. If government spends money, they will go and borrow. And then when they borrow, it makes things worse for everybody. Government should stay out of business. What we need government to do, we set the right policies, the right programs, the right guidelines, the right incentives, not to a few people, incentive to everyone. Just once you're able, I think an example, if government decides now they want transportation to work, they know what to do. You don't need them to come on. You don't need government to come and buy buses and just put it around. No. Businessmen will buy the buses and run it. Just make sure the roads are okay. Make sure the policies are there. Make sure that when we bring in this bus, we don't have to pay stupid duties. Or we don't have to pay bribe. Yeah, make sure that there's a level playing field for everyone. You will see it happen, okay? So that's on that. But the second one, first something is not a magic bullet. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden things are going to get better or Nigeria is going to just bounce back. No. But it's a bitter pill to swallow towards economic recovery. When you're sick, the medicine they give you is sweet. Go bitter so that you get there. So, and the reason why government needs to take it out is they can't afford it. We're paying how much for fuel? It should be the 100 liter tank is about 20,000. I'm not happy. But the point is that the government can't afford it. And if they can't afford it, they stay out of it. Because if they stay out of it, then things are going to get better eventually for all of us. That's the point. So, and by the way, the so-called fuel subsidy, my brother, there are people that are chopping it. Exactly. We know the people that are chopping it. So what's the point? And I'm actually very bullish. People can have a chat about this a year from now. I'm actually very bullish, or maybe let me be more confident, that fuel prices will drop eventually. Why? You know why? In one of all this, first of all, there are too many filling stations in Nigeria. It's only when there's no scarcity. In fact, when there's no scarcity, don't you notice? You see them on the road telling you to come. That's why too many filling stations. Nigeria is not moving around. It's not hard. So eventually, and then there are a lot of independent marketers. It's not like it's just two. There are so many. Anybody can go into that business. So they will have to fight for business. And when you want to fight for business, you have to crash their prices. And eventually, they won't make most of their money won't just come from selling. Their money will come from what they do in that whole space. That filling station has one. So some of them will turn their offices into different things. It's just not with all. Eventually, there's going to be competition. That's what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to go back to what it is. Except maybe oil prices drop. Yes. So with electricity, electricity as well will drop. So remember, one other thing that we need to also understand is that what would happen with cost of living is just transportation prices go up, food prices go up. But generally, businesses, their cost, operating cost of business won't really go up. You know why? Because most of us use diesel. And diesel prices have already gone up. In fact, it's going back down now. Exactly. Yes. At one point it was 8 something. Because people are going to buy it. People are not buying, so it's going to go down. Okay, so that's for fuel subsidy. For civil service, I 100% agree with you. We had an economic outlook yesterday. And we had a lot of very respectable economists on that panel. And one thing that they said was for the civil service, as much as Nigerians like to see, let us have the right people in government. We all say that, right? Bring in a technocrat, bring in somebody from the private sector. What we tend to forget is that if you like, go and bring Obama to come and head civil service in Nigeria. He's still going to meet people there. So we still need civil service reforms. And let's remember, Saeed did a report 10 years ago. That time, so imagine the civil service now. It's not what it was back then. So you're right. We still need to do a lot of civil service reform. And then civil servants actually need a lot of training as well. So you need that as well. Then you say, what do you No, no. I actually think that nobody is perfect. I'm not trying to be patronizing. There are a lot of rubbish that the past government did. At the same time, it's also the job. So I think people for some reason just what you know. But let me tell you something to see. If it wasn't for a great I don't know what business you do, but trust me, if it wasn't for him, Nigeria would have been worse than Ghana. It could be that he was one of those who created the problem, so sure. But it wasn't for him. Nigeria would be worse than Ghana. During between 2020 and 2023, it was through the CBN that this government was running. That's how they were able to be senators, House of Rep members, yes.
Where's that means?
Where's that means? If it wasn't for him, a lot of industries would have collapsed. Power sector, manufacturing sector, agri, they would have all been dead. Because they basically funded those sectors. Let's also remember as well, as bad as Nigeria is, has any bank crash? No. Banks actually doing what? Making money. Are you seeing what fintechs are? No, come on, tripping. They are actually, are you seeing what fintechs are doing? So I think there are a lot of decisions that he made that could have been better. I don't like the way he handled Forex. Maybe because he didn't have too much of a choice. I don't like the way he handled cash flows. Buying the position of some things and there's some things that I mean like.
That means the politics.
Yeah, and of course his biggest mistake was that means politics. But let's also remember that he was this powerful because you had a government with fiscal issues. Finance minister who really sort out their own fiscal issues. They didn't have revenue, they couldn't fund anything. So what do you expect them to do? So what should the government do? I don't know, he has a year there. So my expectation is that he's going to go to the master and then we'll go. Because I guess the government wants new law. So but I actually somehow deep down inside me, I tend to believe that when they sit down with him, they will realize they did it to the end. I think so. Because there are a number of things that we miss or why that are happening. And that's what I think. Yes. If I take him out, but I feel deep down that he won't be immediate. There are several things that I feel miss or why. And I actually think taking him out immediately by the mistake. That's my whole feeling. In terms of I think it's a bad picture. So that's what it is. That's why I also mentioned opportunity. My job is, like I said, I'm not the one that created that. I just give you the facts. Remember what I said at the beginning? We don't do the power. We just use data to explain what's happening in the country. But I also mentioned at the beginning that people in Afghanistan, Sudan, business is going on there. So despite the challenges, there are still businesses. SMEs that better understand everything that we explain, we always show opportunities. And those SMEs that are able to adapt and show opportunities, we win. I'll give you an example. If you're in a business where you sell premium things, I said it, don't drop your price. If you're in a business where you sell value things, just make sure your distribution is solid. You will win. In this economy we're seeing, there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers. But the winners will win so big that there will be a new dynasty. It's not very difficult to get
I'm being rushed, so Captain, I'm being rushed. But I want to move a motion that if Prince Ashekere does not bring in the guest speaker as a member in the first 2 months, he should be impeached. All those in favor say aye. Okay, electoral committee, this is how they behave. Small power and they get to their head, just like in this That's how they behave. I'll give them the microphone now before they cancel my vote. But let's give our guest speaker a round of applause.
Yes, boss. Yes.
You're very serious.
I'm very loyal to you, sir.
And some of the jokes, you don't find it funny.
I don't find them funny.
And I've been saying things that you have, you allow it to pass. You're going to be influencing the cause of unnecessary distraction. So please, I beg you, step back. Thank you very much. Step back.
Which one in particular?
Thank you. We thank you, our keynote speaker. We at the junctions.
We're doing some compilation. Very important.
You should have done this when we were busy talking. Can we take a question that the DJ play music?
Exactly.
Okay. Is that okay? So after today's go. Okay. We learned that our guest speaker needs to leave, and as such, as very appreciative announcement that we are, that there's a special card that needs to be presented to him, platform, in appreciation of his magnanimous gesture to us, in appreciation of very insightful presentation he made, very knowledge-based presentation, and of course can guide our journey moving forward. I'll invite one of our captains, former captains, to come and do this presentation on behalf of Captain Louis Azad, who is in the diaspora. So we didn't call him, he just came. I don't know who called him. I don't know the question. So on behalf of our captain, Mr. Sheika will present. So, over to you. Thank you for coming.
On behalf of our club, we're very appreciative of you coming to share knowledge with us. We're hoping that by this token, you have automatically become a member. Yes? Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for adding me to your membership, and I accept it. Thank you very
much. And the vice chairman of the J9C has said he will pay your first dues for the year.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are going to go to the historic event for today. All those people attempting to change the results of the election, please, you have to watch their movement. Case square boys. Any attempt, all the MCs boys, MC boys, they need to be seeing different results here. I'm seeing different results, unfortunately. I'm seeing different results. I'm surprised. Huh? Members, you have to come. I think they want to take a picture. You have 60 seconds to do any picture you want to take. 60 seconds. Just 60 seconds. I see friends now want to know whether people have made the 51%. But I'm seeing some interesting results here. I'm seeing some interesting results. Election results to be announced. So at the end of the election, we had 14 votes in total from fiscal and 8 votes from diaspora, making 22 people that voted within the window. You know there was a window. Some people voted outside the window, so those become null and void. And we have agreed that our rule is absolute majority rule. So we have seen some interesting results. So can you count the ballot paper so that we know? 1. We did. I think you were here. I should not entertain you. Okay. Are we counting 3? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. 13, 14. Okay. So we start with the office of Membership and Mobilization Secretary, Mr. Ashekweri Prince. From the fiscal votes, Mr. Ashekweri has 13 votes. From virtual, out of the 8, he got 7 votes. So the total comes to what? 20 votes. 20 votes. 13 plus 7. So Mr. Ashekweri is hereby returned. If he doesn't stand up in the next 10 seconds, we will disqualify. Mr. Ashekweri is hereby returned as the Mobilization and Membership Secretary of our great association in the next 2 years. Collective. Next is the Financial Secretary, Mr. Adebayo Abolari, FCA. Mr. Abolari got 14 votes from the fiscal vote, 14 over 14. 14 over 14. From the diaspora vote, he got 8 over 8. Total being 22 votes in total. Mr. Abolari is thereby returned as the Financial Secretary of the organization, having recorded the absolute majority result. Thank you. For the Policy Secretary, it's an unfortunate result anyway. Mr. Mighty, Olumide Yoda. Mr. Mighty had 14 over 14 fiscal, and the diaspora 8 over 8. I didn't know we could get that vote. Total, because of his mouth. It's very caustic mouth. Congratulations, Mr. Yoda is hereby returned as the winner of the election and as the public secretary of our great collective. Next is the Social and Welfare Secretary, Sir Alexander Deboski. Otuba, thank you. Able Secretary. Otuba got 14 over 14 as well. 50,000. And he didn't disappoint. He's loved by the diaspora too. He got 8 over 8 for diaspora. Total 22 votes. He gave Mr. Alexander Deboski as the official Social and Welfare Secretary of our great collective for the next 2 years. Next. Can you sit down? Because we can deny you of your return certificate. Please, I can't say that too much. Assistant Secretary General. My secretary said we can even delay the presentation. We are over-excited. Right. Assistant Secretary, position of the Assistant Secretary General, Mr. Larry Akintilọ Eli. Olariwaju, thank you. Interestingly, this man is loved by the voters here present physically in Lagos. So he got 14 over 14 votes. Obviously. Interestingly, he got 7 over 8 from his colleagues in diaspora. Maybe like the rest of people.
He forgot to vote for himself.
Okay. So 21 over 22 for Mr. Mariwaju. And the power conferred on us as the J9C 2023, we hereby return Mr. Mariwaju as the Assistant General Secretary of this great collective. A round of applause for him. Next is our General Secretary. Wow. Why this discrimination? Honestly, I don't understand. From the vote from diaspora, you did well, but we can't say of the physical voter. From the diaspora, it's got 8 over 8. From physical voters, they said your real enemies are members of the household. People sitting on the same table with you. But interestingly, it's got 14 over 14 votes. 20 votes now. They're not even appropriate. 22 votes in total. As the power conferred on us of the J9C of this great collective, each as you are listening, is hereby returned as General Secretary of our great collective. But that's very, who said that? That's very disrespectful. And embarrassing to my parents. If not that, it's a Captain America. Yes, sir. Shame. That's it. Yes. You will turn his white the day. Or yellow. If not as a former captain, we know what to say. But we sometimes you have to shoot your party. What do you say, sir?
Authority speaking. Authority speaking.
It's a camaraderie, don't worry. Just put in the call. What do you want us to do to you? Thank you. The vice captain. Not because he gave this place to us free. What is that supposed to be? Well, in the diaspora, our vice captain elect or yet to be elected, Mr. Nado Shinibosi, score 8/8, that's no and score 14/14, and point of honor, members of J9C 2023, we have our report Mr. Abiodun Oshinibosi at the beginning of the vice captain of our Create Association for the next year. Thank you. Let's go and break for 5 minutes. What to do on the continues? You need cold water. Cold water. How you MC old school. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you again the impartial, incorruptible, ever vigilant, ever forward-looking, ever dependable, ever reliable chairman, okay, of the election committee, who is not like his brother, the Secretary General, who brought money and tried to bribe him. Okay, thank you for that interlude and that break. Benga, the Secretary General of the J9C said we have to apologize for insulting us. Yes, sir. In my capacity as the MC of this election circle, hereby apologize profusely. But I say again that we believe in you. The last but not the least results that need to be announced and put on record for historical reasons and constitutional imperative. The results for the position of the captainship of this great organization. The results are. So after announcing results, those who have performed, those who have been returned, will get their return certificates immediately. Now immediately. And immediately we'll call for swearing in and we have done our job. Only those who have won, who have been returned. We are talking too much, we can return them. In the person of Mr. Kingsley Olushola Gene James, he was returned, he scored 8 votes from the diaspora votes, 8 over 8. Unfortunately, out of the accredited votes from the fiscal voters, we are surprised as, excuse me, some people were embarrassed and scored 14 over 14. And as such, Mr. Kingsley Olushola James scored 22 votes over the podcast and he returned as the captain of our great organization for the next 2 years to steer the ship of this organization. Thank you so much.
Oh, the chairman says there's a mistake. He wants to address it, please.
We can return from as a resident.
Please listen to the chairman.
J9, please manage your followers and your supporters. Your thoughts and some followers are misleading. Can we be seated, please? We do respect. Thank you. Thank you for your collaboration and support. The next constitutional thing for us to do is to present the certificate of return. To do it formal. And as such, my AP Secretary, who was the chairman 2 years ago, will do the calling, how we present, and that's the point you come for photography. Is that correct? It is a family affair. Happy to do.
J9, I would like to invite the past captain here present to please come forward here as we present certificate of returns to each and every one of those that have been returned today as elected officers to serve in our for the next 2 years. Please keep it going, keep it going. I'd like to start by calling we can all be seated. Thank you very much. I'd like to call on the membership mobilization secretary in the person of our praise, Aisha Query to please step forward to collect a certificate of he's wearing a brand new shoe also. It's a double color.
I would like to call on Mr. Adebayo to please
Come forward.
I will. I just invite everybody to come. New Exco, a resounding round of them. Congratulations. Release the